There is a specific kind of isolation that sets in after midnight on an empty highway. Your passengers fall asleep, the landscape blurs into a black wall, and the world shrinks down to the short reach of your headlights. In Indian folklore, this environment is the hunting ground for the Chhalava, or Chakwa. It is described as the restless, predatory spirit of someone who died in a highway accident, now bound to the asphalt where they fell. This entity doesn't hunt by chasing its prey. It uses spatial manipulation, seamlessly folding a stretch of road so that the vehicle is trapped in a geographic loop. No matter how fast you drive, you never actually move forward. We see this in the accounts of college students traveling through the Maharashtra forests. Deep into the night, their driver realized the forest they had passed an hour ago was once again outside their windows. For those caught in the loop, distance is an illusion. They are removed from the map, forced to wait for the sun to rise and diminish the entity's influence over the landscape. The realization begins with the scenery. They notice a cluster of trees or an abandoned tea stall. Minutes later, despite driving in a straight line, that same stall appears again in the distance. This graphic illustrates how the spatial anomaly functions. The loop is often confirmed by a unique landmark, like the overturned truck the college students passed multiple times, each time realizing they were driving in a perfect, impossible circle. This discovery triggers a violent internal conflict. The body is flooded with adrenaline and panic, even as it struggles against the weight of severe sleep deprivation. No amount of speed can break this cycle. Driving faster only brings you back to the starting point sooner. The only way out is to survive until the first light of dawn breaks the entity's hold. The most dangerous variant of this entity is the Amavasya, or New Moon Chhalava. It doesn't remain outside the vehicle lurking in the trees. It infiltrates the group directly. It targets the traveler who is most exhausted, using a flash of pure terror to induce a lethal shock that stops the heart instantly. This graphic shows the process of possession. The entity immediately occupies the newly vacated corpse, mimicking the living traveler's voice, movements, and personality perfectly. This is what happened to Sham on the college bus and Adi on the Lonavala road trip. Both died silently in their seats and were replaced before their friends even realized they were gone. The group believes they are safe because they are together. In reality, the predator is no longer in the woods. It is sitting right next to them in the passenger seat. Once the Chhalava has a seat inside the vehicle, it begins to broadcast personalized, horrific allusions to the survivors. It forced a teacher named Sushil Sir to witness his own hometown manifesting a fake village filled with a violent mob and the slaughtered corpses of his family to test his will. The Lonavala group faced a similar hallucination, a roadside dhaba where they were served rotting food crawling with maggots, while a mob with torches surrounded their car. These visions are meticulously designed for psychological impact. While they appear terrifying, the entity is using them to observe the group's reactions rather than causing direct physical harm. By forcing Sushil Sir to choose between his own life and his grief, or leading the Lonavala group to question their sanity at the Phantom Dhaba, the entity erodes their ability to reason. Once their logic is stripped away, they are primed for the final phase of the hunt. The Chhalava operates with a chilling efficiency. It rarely needs to exert physical force to finish its hunt. On the bus, the possessed Sham used whispered lies and false accusations to fracture the group. He manipulated the driver, a teacher, and a student into seeing one another as the threat, leading them to turn on each other with iron rods. The Lonavala story followed the same pattern. The entity, acting as Adi, sat passively in the front seat, smiling while his friends Aisha and Ravi attempted to strangle each other over a manufactured panic. In the end, the Chhalava weaponizes human paranoia, turning trusted friends and mentors into their own executioners. Curious skeptics in these stories often propose a different explanation. They wonder if the Chhalava is a cultural myth used to explain the phenomenon of highway hypnosis. Look at this comparison. The monster's tactics map directly to physiological symptoms. Microsleeps can make a driver feel as if they are in a loop, And severe sleep deprivation triggers the same high-frequency stress waves associated with extreme paranoia. When a brain is deprived of sensory input in the pitch black, it often invents monsters to rationalize its own internal panic. Whether you call it a supernatural entity or a total psychological breakdown, the lesson for anyone on an isolated road remains the same. In the deep silence of the night, your own paranoia can be just as lethal as any ghost in the dark.